My name is Jeff Hood, Chief Executive Officer for the National Association of Police Athletic Activities League Incorporated. Um, Life lesson for me is treat people as you would like to be treated, and to whom much is given, much is required. Um, Growing up so much in New York and in the project areas and low-income communities, there was people that was able to reach out and support me in the various endeavors that I've engaged. And so that's why I've been blessed so much in this life that it's important for me to be able to give back, to be able to help others in unfortunate or underserved situations or circumstances as well. A definition of a made man to me would be a person that, um, one, is about high principles, person who is about doing unto others as you would expect them to do unto you, person who is spiritual, who is God-fearing for me, um, person who is also impactful and intentional about giving back to our young people or those in need. One of the advices that I would give myself is in my years would be to pay more attention to school instead of athletics. I always looked at it as an opportunity that athletics was going to be my way out of my situation and circumstance in the community that I grew up in New York. Um, Not knowing that sooner or later that air was going to have to come out of that basketball, but want to make sure and understand that for me, it would have been even more important to pay a lot more attention to the educational opportunities that laid in front of me. So that's one of the things that I know that I would kind of advice that I would give to myself. I've been blessed enough to have some great mentors, even to this day in my life. Mentoring is important for those moments and times when you think that you have it all together and that you think that you have all the answers. There's always that person that can be real with you. And fortunately, ever since the time that I was 11 years old, there was two persons in particular, Carl Clay and Avan Littles, who always kept me grounded, kept me to understand in that life wasn't just about me, that it was also that you had opportunities to be yourself, but you always had to understand that you had to be respectful of others and to be serious and intentional about that. So mentoring for me goes a long way, and thankfully, even to this day, gentlemen such as Ron Fisher and Lenny Springs, um, and Kevin Patterson, and and several other gentlemen that are in my life to this day that keep me on the straight and narrow. Well, when those dark times come, first and foremost for me, um, I have to pray about it. I always seek to include God in those decisions and those dark times and places in my life. And having that faith in Him, I know that He will carry me through. And so, first and foremost, for me, it's about trusting and keeping my faith first and foremost in God, who will carry me through those tough times. I think the thing that this community, as well as nationally, that persons can look upon myself is commitment. There's a lot of things for me is when I say something, is very hard for me to steer away from that. If I commit to something, then I want to make sure that I'm all in, and then I deliver on those principles. Make sure that I'm a person that can be counted upon. My word is my bond. But the big thing for me is giving back to these young people, in these communities, both in the Charlotte community, in the New York community, and then as well as nationally. And that's that I know that these things that I can be counted on to be able to lend myself, to be able to be there for these young people and be a positive role model for them. A lot of times today, we look at it from the standpoint of do as I say, not as I do. You know, and my thing is I want young people to be able to look at to me, to be able to say, okay, that's a person that's not only talking the talk, but is walking the walk as well. And that's what I want to be able to leave, the impression that I want to be able to leave upon our young people. On behalf of myself and my fellow honorees, I would like to thank the Made Man Foundation, Wells Fargo, the National Urban League, Miller Coors, Ciroc, United Nations, and Upscale Magazine for their support of this initiative. Thank you for all that you've committed to making this event possible. Please join us on November 29th, where the honorees will all come together at Piper Glen Country Club. Please join us and partake in this great opportunity to support our honorees.